Good afternoon and welcome to Tech Tuesday. Today I'm going to go over speed bar shortcuts that can be used in the system. I'm just starting off in the matrix system right now, and the speed bar is this little section right up at the top here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is show you some speed bar shortcuts that are in the system already for you to utilize. And to do that, I'm just going to click on this question mark. So I clicked on the question mark, and it's going to give me examples of some commonly used shortcuts that we can put into the system. So as you can see, I can put an MLS number in there. And if you have multiple MLS numbers, you just need to leave a space between them. Just to let everyone know, if you have an MLS number that's for a lot land listing, and then you have one for commercial or residential and lot and land, those MLS numbers are going to come up in a cross-property view. And in that view, you have access to less reports than you do if you just go through the property class. So just keep that in mind when you're typing that information in. We can also put in a street address, status, and you can do a combination of all of these things. Property type labels here, style, etc. So you can use all of these. There's a great printable version of this as well. Until you learn all the codes, you can click here for the printable version, and it will pull up the page. And you can just right click on the page and go to print these off and keep them in your office. Okay, so just went to print there. All right, so those are some of the speed bar shortcuts that they have in the system. We also can create speed bar shortcuts ourselves in the system, and one of them that I like to tell people about is creating a shortcut for your office listings. So if you're on floor duty, or if you are looking for perhaps a listing that is from your company but from a different agent, this allows you to create a shortcut to pull that listing up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the roster, and I'm going to go all the way down to the office roster, and I'm going to pick my office number out of here just so I can know what that is to create the shortcut. Okay, so you have to do a little bit of a keyword search in here anytime you're doing a what's called a wildcard search or a keyword search, and you're not sure of all the words. You can use the asterisk to do that. So I'm just going to put an asterisk in there. And then I'm just going to look for my office name. So I just typed in greater, and I'll click results. And it's going to bring up all the offices that have greater in there. Sometimes, let me go back to criteria for a second. Sometimes if you have a really common office name, we'll just put Keller in as an example, you may get a lot of results, and you may need to narrow it down by the city. So I'm just going to type Baxter into here, and then you get less results. If your office is part of multiple associations, if they're part of, say, the Lake Regions Association or a different association, there is going to be a code that shows up in front of those. And if you're looking for listings within Northstar, you want to always look for just a number code in the office ID. Okay, so that's how you pull that number out of the system. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go to the search tab, and I'm going to run a search out of cross property, because if I'm on floor duty, I might get calls about land properties and single family residential properties, and I want to be able to pull those up quite quickly. So I'm going to go to search, cross property, and general. And then I'm just going to select the statuses for the speed bar shortcut of active, temporary, not available, for showing, and pending. So all the statuses that there might be a sign out on the property. I'm not going to put any other information in here, except I'm going to go under additional fields down at the bottom here, and I'm going to add a couple custom fields to my display. Now you'll notice that I have them down here already, but I'm going to show you how to add them in just a second here. So the ones that we're going to add are listing office ID and then property type. You can add other fields if you have a lot of listings that are on waterfronts. You could add lake waterfront, yes, no to the fields. You could add agent name to the fields, and then you could do a wildcard search of agents within that office. And you can do a variety of other things with this. So for now, I'm just going to click on the add remove in additional fields. If you have no additional fields down here, it's just going to say add at first. You're just going to click on that. And then you're going to go to the search down at the bottom here. And I'm going to add that lake waterfront yes or no field. But again, you would want to look for a listing office ID and then property type. And you can also add agent name to that. And then you can always move these around. I'm just going to click the move up button and move this up towards the top. All right. And then once I'm done adding the fields, I'm going to click the back button. Okay. Now, once I get back to this screen, the only other thing that I'm going to add at this point is the listing office ID. And then I'm going to click the results button. Okay, so once I click results, I'm just doing the search to create a shortcut for it. So what I'm going to do is, let me just change this out of the custom view. There is another video to look at custom views. But what I'm going to do is switch this over to the single line grid, and this is what you'll see when you pull up those listings. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to click the save button, and I'm going to select new speed bar shortcut. Okay, so once we get to this page where we're creating the shortcut, all we have to do is put in a command to type in the speed bar when we want to pull up listings in this search. So I'm going to put in speed bar shortcut. I'm going to leave this slash mark. That's very important that we leave that in there so we can type the command into the speed bar properly. And I'm just going to call this office. Now, if you want, you can have more than one word, but you need to keep it together. So if I did office listings, I would have to make that one word. It doesn't allow me to have multiple words in here. And then if you want to, you can type in information. So I'm just going to say office number and put the office number in there. And then I'm going to say active TNAS and pending. Okay. You don't need a description. It's an optional field, but I'm going to put one in there just so I know what this search is all about. And then I'm going to click save. Okay. So how to use the speed bar shortcut. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the home tab and we're going to check it out. So say I'm working in the system and I get a call on a listing that's within my office and I want to look and see if I can find that listing. So I'm going to go to the speed bar, put my cursor in there and type the slash mark and then the word office and either click enter or I can click on the magnifying glass here as well. And it's going to run the search for me. Okay, so this is going to be all the listings within my office. So if I want to, let me just switch this over to the single line grid view here that you have. If I want to do further investigation, say they know that this property is in Brainerd, or say they know the agent name, I can put that information in by just clicking criteria or map. I can also click. So I'm going to go back to criteria and I'm going to say Postal City of Baxter. and select that. So that is going to narrow it down. You just click out of the box to get it to update. That's going to narrow it down substantially. If I have someone that is describing the front of the house for me, after I have the postal city, I can click results and I can go to display and change it over to a thumbnail view. And then I can see pictures of the front of the house. If I'm not seeing a large enough picture, what I can do is click to view the photos closer up. And then I can close them or click out of the box when I'm finished. And I can also, if I need to, click the criteria button and enter any more criteria in here. I can go under the agent name box right here and I can do a wildcard search. So I can type in a slash mark and then a letter or a name or part of a name in there and then click results, and it will pull up only listings that match that criteria as well. So lots of different things that we can do with that office speed bar shortcut. Okay. If you want to make a change to your speed bar shortcut, or if you want to view it by clicking on a link, you can go to My Matrix and you can go down to Settings. So My Matrix and Settings. And then in there, you'll find speed bar shortcuts. You can click on that and you can run the shortcut from here, or you can check it to delete the shortcut. Okay, so that's going to run the shortcut just like it would if I went up to this search box. Okay, so one more thing, if I'm in the system and I'm doing a search, so let's just do this cross-property search and I get a phone call, I can always come up to the speed bar and I can type in my speed bar shortcut. The one thing I do want to make sure that I do is uncheck this box to where it says plus other criteria, because I want to just run this speed bar with its current criteria, and then it'll pull up the listings. If I keep plus other criteria, it's not going to be able to pull up my my information on there. All right, so let's do another speed bar shortcut, and this time it's going to be for a certain type of listing. So if you have searches that you do in the system quite frequently, you can set up different speed bar shortcuts for those listings using keywords. So I'm just going to go to search single family and waterfront. I'm going to look for just active and temporary not available for showing properties with no contingency. And I'm going to look in the school district 181, so Brainerd. And I only want to see listings that are lakefront listings in a certain map area. So I'm going to draw in the map search. So I'm going to click on map search. And this is going to pull up all the properties that fit my current criteria. And I'm just going to zoom in a little until I get around the Gull Lake area here. And I'm going to draw on my map. Around it. Oops, clicked on the Pinterest button. Okay. So let's say this is my market area that I work all the time, and I want to be able to run a quick search to find waterfront properties within that area. So if I go back to the criteria page, I put in active, temporary not available for showing with no contingency, and the Brainerd School District that are lakefront listings. Okay, so if I wanted to add any further criteria to that, I can, but I like to keep it just very general so that I can run this search and make customizations to it. So I'm going to click results. And once I click results, it's going to give me the list of listings that currently fit that criteria. So what I want to do is create a shortcut now. So I'm going to go to save and then new Speedbar shortcut. And then I'm going to call my Speedbar shortcut "181 Lakefront Map." Okay, so again, you can call it whatever you want to. It's going to give you the criteria here, and it'll also give you the criteria if you look under my matrix and settings. So I have 181 Lakefront Map, and then I can put a description in here if I want to. I'm going to leave that blank for now. It is going to give you the latitude and longitude in here as well, if you so that you can look and see what your map area is. And then once I'm done, I can click save. And again, I can go into any tab up here. So let's go into the roster. And then I'm going to test out my Speedbar shortcut. So I'm going to put the slash mark and then 181. To look and see what I called it. I apologize. Okay, so I have 181 Lakefront Map. Let's go back to the roster. 181 Lakefront Map, and click enter, and it's going to run that search. And then if I have, say, a list price range that I want to put in here, I can do that. I can put in a lake name. Let's do Margaret. Change my criteria a little bit here. Let's try around. Just a quick note also, if you put in the name of the county, and then go to the lakefront search, it's only going to pull up lakes within that county. All right, well, I'm not having too much luck with that lake name length, but you kind of see what I mean. I can put bedrooms and bathrooms in here. And then once I have all my criteria, and I can click results, and if I wanted to, I could look through these listings. I can do direct mails by selecting the listings. I can also go under save, and if I have somebody that fits that criteria, I can run an auto email. I can go back to my map and I can delete the shape so that I'm just searching this criteria that I typed in here. So you can do a lot of things in here. So it works great for certain area searches. So if you're looking for, say, just listings within the city of Nisswa, you can save everything under Nisswa and then pull it up very quickly. Again, it's great for lakes. You can do lake chains, lots of different things, and there's not a limit on how many shortcuts you create. And then also don't forget about the shortcuts that you can use under the question mark as well. Well, thank you for joining today. If you have any questions, please let me know. My phone number here at GWAR is 218-828-4567. And you can also contact me via email at marissa@greaterlakesrealtors.com. Thank you and have a great day.